Thank you.
The Darien Athletic Foundation is proud to present high school football this afternoon from Stadium Field on the campus of Darien High School. It's the undefeated Darien Blue Wave versus the Fairfield Warde Mustangs. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Damian Andrew. Thanks for joining us. And joining me this afternoon is the former president of the Darien Junior Football League, the DJFL, Jim Coley. And Jim, it's rather fitting having you sitting in for this broadcast this afternoon since it's DJFL Day here at Stadium Field.
For DJFL Day. I'm looking at the flag at the south end. We got light winds and a beautiful day.
And we're going to see the #1 ranked high school football team in the state, Jim Coley, this afternoon in Darien. They come in here with a 5-0 record, taking on a Fairfield Warde team that's 3-2. And it's a tough test for the Mustangs this afternoon.
It is, but you know, this is one of those games where Darien cannot look forward in the schedule and overlook a Warde team. Yes, now #1 ranked versus number 36 ranked according to Max Preps in the state. You'd think this one would be in the bag, but that's the kind of games that you got to be careful of.
So we are underway here from Stadium Field. Darien won the coin toss. They deferred to the second half, so they kick off to Fairfield Warde. And the Mustangs offense comes out onto the field, and they will start at around the 24-yard line.
Yeah, this looks like a pretty balanced offense from the statistics. It'll be interesting to see what they come out with. I mean, if I'm coaching here, I think you take a little bit of a risk early in the game.
No, absolutely, against this vaunted Blue Wave defense. The question mark coming into the season, at least the outsiders looking at this Darien team, was the front four. That has not been a question mark. They have answered the questions. That's kind of been a staple of Rob Treffone's defense in the last several years, is that front four so tough up front, and that has proved to be the case again this year. So first down at the 9-yard line. Matt Sermonero. Yeah, I got that out, Jim Coley. Sermonero, the quarterback for the Mustangs, and nothing doing on 1st and 10.
Yeah, I think they put themselves in a hole here. I mean, they got a block in the back there on the kickoff return. Put them back, it looks like about the 9-yard line. I think if they'd been out at the 20, it might have opened up a little bit more aggressively. But choosing to go with a quick dive left play here on the first play of the game.
Sermonero now out of the shotgun on 2nd down and 9. Near side of the field, and it's complete to number 7, Will Stearns, but not much doing on that quick out.
Yeah, but a good safe call. You know, you're sitting down here, you don't want to turn the ball over right at the beginning of the game, have the Blue Wave up 7-0. So good out pass there to the slot receiver. It was great.
And as our viewers who are watching can hear and see, we've got the band right in front of us, Jim Coley, so bear with us.
Right through the sousaphones.
The sousaphone is directly in front of you.
Okay, we're looking at a 3-by-1.
3rd down here. Sermonero.
He's going to take off. And the Wave's got him.
And he gets it to about the 16-yard line, short of the first down. And we have an injured Darien player down on the field. You never like to see that.
Absolutely not. Number 71.
Charlie Zuro is down on the field, the senior. And the training staff and Coach Trefone out to attend to him.
Well, that was a good improvised run by the quarterback. You know, trying to get out there, looking for something, and then didn't see anything, just tuck and went. And you know, he only came up 1.5 yards short, so not a bad play.
Yeah, 4th down and a long one. And I want to mention to our viewers, we do not have a score clock for you. So bear with us. We will try to give you updates on time here. But again, injured Darien player down on the field, breaking the action here. And I'm so happy you were able to join us this afternoon for this broadcast by DAF Media. And Charlie Zuro is up, walking off on his own, which is always a good sign.
Absolutely. we'll keep an eye on him on the sideline and see if he's going to be okay and maybe make it back into the game.
Sean Sigmund back to punt for the Mustangs. 4th down here.
It's a low punt. Should be able to return this one pretty far.
And this is Tyler
Herget.
Herget, of course, one of many Herget brothers here in Darien, an athletic family. He is the latest in the line of Herget athletes here at Darien High School. So the Blue Wave offense takes over in great field position at about the 31-yard line. So we get a chance to see Jack Joyce, the senior quarterback, is having quite a season. First-year starter for the Blue Wave at quarterback, and they have not missed a beat. Out of the shotgun, back to pass. He puts it up for Herget, overthrows him near sideline.
I like that play call. Come right out. Let's go have a quick strike. Put this game out of reach right away. Just overthrew him about 3 yards.
Well, Jack Joyce is coming off a very impressive performance last week against Staples. 18 of 31 for 243 yards. And how about this? 5 touchdowns. 2 of them went to Brian Minikis.
You know what I like about Jack Joyce, and I've known him since he's a little kid here. He's averaging 241 yards a game, and incredibly averaging 17 yards per pass completion. You just don't see those kind of stats. Well, it looks like we got a fumble here.
They keep it on the ground to Mitch Pryor, but he fumbles it. And number 35, Jake Hios, the senior for Fairfield Warde, jumps on it, and it'll be Mustangs ball. And that is a big play early for this Fairfield Warde team to try to build some momentum.
Absolutely. We talked about it at the top of the cast. You do not want to let this team get some momentum, some early scores. That's not what you want to see if you're on the Wave. Man in motion left. It could be a quick pass.
Swings it out to number 30, Tyler Llewellyn.
The Blue Wave defense was right there. They must have seen that on tape, and they were ready for it, and they stopped him at the line of scrimmage.
The Blue Wave defense, as you know, any Rob Trafone coach team is going to be well played on defense. They pursue so well on defense. You know, as I mentioned earlier, coming into the season, the question mark was up front. Coach Trafone was very pleased with the second and third tier of his defense. Some questions up front, but those questions have been answered.
Absolutely, and a good linebacking core also to support those guys up front.
Sermonero back to pass, going downfield.
Kind of a duck pass.
A duck pass.
Who's got it?
And that looks, Darien says they have it, and it is interception.
Pass is intercepted by Connor Tankin.
Connor Tinkin with the interception, the cornerback. And so Darien coughs it up, and Fairfield Warde coughs it up on their next possession.
Oh, we've got 2 turnovers early in the game. We can't blame the weather.
Jim Coley, it is a beautiful, beautiful day this afternoon here on the campus of Darien High School. The fall foliage in the background, as you can see from our main camera. Jack Joyce throws it downfield, puts it up, and almost a great catch by Brian Minikis. We mentioned he had a big game last week against Staples in Westport, 2 touchdowns. And in the first game against Ridgefield, Minikis, 3 picks, 2 he took back to the house.
That's right. He's a versatile player, and from another recognizable household name here in Darien. Older brother was a great football and lacrosse player also.
2nd down and 10 at the 40, swings it out to Minikis.
Yep.
And he picks up a couple.
So just a little slip screen left. This is a play that New Canaan uses a lot, and Rob and the offensive coordinator have worked this into the playbook over the last 5 years. It's basically a sideways lateral pass to get you guys out there. And you got speedsters, you got guys that can block, and you got guys that can catch. It's a great play call. Only picked up, unfortunately, 2 yards.
Speaking of New Canaan, the Fairfield Warde head coach, Duncan Della Volpe, a 10-year assistant coach on that New Canaan staff. Joyce rolls right, and he's going to keep it, and he gets licked on the far sideline. He doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage.
No,
so a big defensive play by the Fairfield Warde Mustangs.
Looks like he lost 3 yards on that play.
Jack Curtis comes up to meet Jack Joy.
So far, Fairfield Warde is answering the bell.
They certainly are. I was going to say the same thing. You read my mind.
4th down, 9.
A little confusion there on the defensive side of the ball.
4th and 9. Darien will punt this away.
It's a nice punt. Great
punt.
All the way back. It hits right at the 15-yard line. And then takes a Fairfield Warde bounce forward.
So Fairfield Warde's offense comes back out onto the field, and they will start operating at around the 21-yard line.
21-yard line, 1st and 10.
Well, neither team yet has really got their offense engaged. This will be the 3rd series for Fairfield Warde. It will be interesting to see. The play call has been relatively conservative on the pass side. We've had screen pass or an out pass, nothing too deep other than the one ball that was intercepted.
7:35 left in the 1st quarter. Matt Sermonero, the quarterback, out of the shotgun, over the middle, complete to the 24-yard line. A nice pickup there. Ben Foster with the catch and run.
And Damien, did you see what they did? They did that same play they did in the last series where they put the fullback into motion left, and they got the whole Darien defensive line looking right, and then they brought the guy across on the drag pattern, and he was wide open. So nice play selection there by Fairfield Warde.
Well, if Darien head coach Rob Trafone is a defensive mastermind, Duncan Della Volpe is an offensive genius for Fairfield Warde. And that pass is broken up
Pass is incomplete
by Connor Tinkin. Connor Tinkin had his man covered well there, and he breaks up the pass. So it's 3rd down, and 7 for the Fairfield Warde Mustangs. Sermonero looking to the sidelines for the play. Three receivers out to the right. Sermonero out of the shotgun.
And we got a blitz on number 44.
And over the middle, and a 1st down for the Mustangs. A nice play call there.
1st down.
Tyler Llewellyn with the 1st down.
And credit to Fairfield Warde offensive line picking up Connor Fay on the blitz there, buying just enough time for the quarterback to get that pass off.
So 1st and 10 for Fairfield Warde, ball on the 36-yard line. And this Mustangs offense has a little mojo right now.
It certainly does. Got a little quarterback keeper, a little quarterback draw.
And he picks up about 4 on the play.
Met once again by Peter Gattuso.
So far, the Sermonero and the Mustangs offense have been relatively unfazed. He does throw the pick, but relatively unfazed by this Darien defense.
Yeah, and this is early in the game. We still got the cat and mouse going on. You got a great offensive coach on one side, a great defensive coach on the other side. They're still feeling each other out.
Well said. Pass incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd down and 8 for the Mustangs.
Intended receiver Ben Foster.
The interesting play call coming up here. You really do want to pick up the 1st down and continue this momentum that you've built out of your own backyard here.
I mentioned at the outset it's DJFL Day. We will be joined by the current president of the DJFL, Martin Pryor, in the 2nd half of this one. Jim Coley, Damian Andrew on the call for DAF Media. Over the middle, incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down for the Mustangs.
It was unfortunate for Fairfield Warde. The snap was just a little low. The quarterback did a nice job. Matt Sermonero did a nice job picking that up and getting that pass off and making sure he didn't lose an extra 10 yards there.
So Sean Sigmund back to punt for the Mustangs. Tyler Herget and Brian Minikis back.
Good protection.
For Darien. Minikis at the 40. He's tackled at around the 44-yard line. So the Darien offense comes back out onto the field, led, of course, by their senior quarterback, Jack Joyce. Coach Trefone, there was never a doubt heading into the season that Jack Joyce was going to be his quarterback. I had the chance to talk to Coach T quite a bit before the start of the season. He thinks he's a cerebral guy, a guy that can throw it and run it, dual threat quarterback. And here he is working out of the shotgun, gives it to Pryor, and Pryor bowls his way up the middle. And you talk about this great Darien passing attack, but let's face it, Pryor in the backfield, you've got to account for him if you're the Fairfield Warde defense.
Absolutely. This is a versatile running back. Can catch coming out of the backfield also, a dual threat running back.
Joyce looks right, complete to number 19, Patrick Burke, the senior.
Patrick Burke with the reception.
Burke's had quite a season for this Blue Wave offense. 19 receptions, 290 yards, 3 touchdowns for Patrick Burke. This is a tremendous receiving core the Blue Wave have.
Yeah, every receiver here is a threat.
Joyce out of the gun, over the middle, and it's picked off again.
A pass intended for Patrick Burke. It's just a little behind him. Bounced it up. It's the kind of thing you don't like to see when you're a quarterback. Ball in the air and an easy pick there.
That was a little unlucky there for the Blue Wave offense off the tip, and Will Stearns, the cornerback for the Mustangs, is there to bring it in. So
face mask penalty against Darien.
And there's a face mask penalty against Darien, so tack on some more yards here.
Ward is now in the Darien side of the field for the first time this game.
Yep.
With that penalty. It's going to be up to that front four to kind of control this game right now and keep them out of field goal range.
42-yard line of Darien.
So Fairfield Warde will start operating at Darien's 42-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 42, and as Jim Coley just said, the first time the Mustangs have crossed midfield on offense. So a big break for Fairfield Warde. We'll see if they can capitalize here on this Darien defense. They keep it on the ground to Llewellyn, and we will call his name quite a bit this afternoon. I had a chance to talk to Fairfield Warde's athletic director, Seth Fry, earlier this morning. He said Tyler Llewellyn is a big part of this Mustangs offense. He picks up a couple. Second down and 4 for the Mustangs. Sermonero up top, incomplete.
Like the play call, stretching the defense, making it, keeping them honest. You got Llewellyn. I'm just looking at the stats here. He's averaging 8.9 a carry this season. So you gotta respect that up front, and then they go down deep. Nice play call.
Well, we get a chance to listen to this Darien High School marching band. They are directly in front of us here from our broadcast location here at Stadium Field on what is just an absolutely picture-perfect day for a high school football game. Warde keeps it on the ground again. Llewellyn takes it up the middle. Maybe what, picked up a couple of yards? A yard? Maybe
Tough.
2?
So we've got a long one. It's going to be interesting here. Are we gonna go for it? Or are you gonna field goal it? I think you're gonna go for it.
I think you have to go for it. 4th down and 1, and the offense stays in, and they will go for it as Sermonero is getting his instructions from head coach Duncan Della Volpe on the sideline.
So Warde elects to stretch it out with the 3 by 1, and it's a simple quarterback draw. Looks like he got it.
And it looks like he got it.
Kevin Gruen in the backfield.
Darien's signaling out, but I think there it is.
Yeah, 1st down, Fairfield Warde, and the Mustangs sideline erupts. That is a big first down as they keep this drive alive here on the Darien side of the field.
I mean, Ward 2 and 3, I think you had to go for it and put the pressure on, and then they executed it and they got it.
Llewellyn up the middle, nice run.
Tyler Llewellyn is doing a nice job there. He broke 3 tackles, dragged a couple of defenders, and picked up, it looks like, about 6 yards.
And there's a timeout, Darien, with 2:49 remaining in the first quarter, Jim Coley. Your early impressions of this game?
Well, so far, I think on the offensive side, it's been a conservative play calling by Fairfield Warde, a mix of passes and run plays, but a good mix. On the defense, it's clear that Darien is trying to put a stop to the run. Tyler Llewellyn is really tearing up some good yards here right through the middle, and that really opens up a lot of the game for the passing game. Honestly, this game would probably already have a score if the receivers on Fairfield Warde actually reeled in a couple of those passes. They've had a couple passes in their hands and completely drop. But thus far, I think I have to tip my hand to the Ward side so far.
Yeah, they've Coach Della Volpe has definitely had some creative play calls in this one, as you mentioned a little earlier in the first quarter, trying to stretch the defense with some deep throws, keeping it on the ground, mixing the pass and the run. So it's 2nd down and 4. The ball is on the 25-yard line for this Mustangs offense. Sermonero out of the shotgun, over the middle, incomplete. He had number 7, Will Stearns, over the middle, wide open, just couldn't hold on to it.
Right, again, Matt Sermonero hitting him right in the hands at about the 7-yard line. That would have been a touchdown if he had caught that and reeled that in.
Yeah, it was only daylight in front of Will Stearns, the receiver, the intended receiver.
3rd down, long 3.
So 3rd down and 3.
It's 2-down territory for this team, though.
Absolutely, absolutely. When you're going up against the number 1 ranked high school football team in the state of Connecticut, field goals aren't going to get it done.
Absolutely not. And there's a blitz, all-out blitz. It looks like screen. What a play.
Great play by number 73, Mike Neary.
Another familiar Darien family. An older brother I coached back in the day, and that was fortuitous because they had the all-out blitz going, and there was a perfect offensive play call against that with the screen. That was probably touchdown territory if Neary doesn't knock that down.
You've done a lot of coaching. A little cat and mouse game here between Duncan Della Volpe, the head coach of Fairfield Warde, and Rob Trefone, Darien's longtime head coach.
Well, both coaches have been in the league for a long time. Rob, obviously, with Brian McMahon, had 2 state championships there before coming to Darien about 12 years ago. These coaches know each other well.
4th down for Fairfield Warde. Sermonero back to pass, and that is incomplete, and Darien will take over on downs.
I mean, clearly what we got going on here is a little gamemanship. You know, the OC knows what the defensive coordinator is going to call, so they're going to call something that they think they won't have seen, and of course that's cat and mouse, we're continuing on for the whole game. That pass was just overthrown.
You mentioned Rob Trefone. This is his 10th year as head coach, was an assistant coach for a couple of years before taking over the head coaching duties. And here comes the Darien offense as they will start on the 25-yard line. Jack Joyce back to pass. Out of the shotgun, swings it out to Brian Minikis, and Minikis picks up about 6 yards on the play.
First time we've seen the empty formation by Darien. You know, back there, we have 2x3 on their wideouts.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, and so aptly put, all of these Darien receivers are dangerous. You can't discount any of them. Joyce out of the gun again. Intended for Patrick Burke, or Tyler Herget. Tyler Herget. I get 29 and 19 mixed up, Jim Coley. Tyler Herget was the intended receiver. Incomplete. 3rd down and about 6.
Does it look like the Blue Wave offense is just a little out of sync today? It's just not flowing like it has in other games.
and they are certainly capable of putting up a lot of points as they've done in their previous 5 games. Empty backfield again. Joyce is going to keep it, and he gets the first down and then some. So the quarterback draw gets it to about the 41-yard line. And that's a first down. That's the biggest play of the game for this Darien offense to this point.
It looked like it was a design play, or at least an audible by Jack Joyce. You could see that the linebackers gave him that. The line did a nice job opening it up, and he picked up a quick 15 or so.
3 receivers out right. Here's Joyce, gives it to Mitch Pryor, and he is stuffed at the line of scrimmage by the Warde defense.
Gain of a yard by Mitchell Pryor.
Dan Mundell in on the tackle for Fairfield Warde.
Elvis passing down, they're leaving Pryor back there to provide a little extra protection, and they swing him.
There's Joyce. Gets flushed out of the pocket on the run. Has Brian Minikis wide open. He's out of bounds. First down, but there's a flag on the play.
That was thrown right in the offensive line. That's got to be a hold.
That's a hold.
Jack Joyce doing a nice job again, showing you the versatility of that quarterback. He can if he gets flushed, he's a dual threat. He can run with it. He can buy his receivers more time, which he did in that particular case. Wide open pass.
Yeah, you can see the dual threat ability from Jack Joyce. Joyce 7 out of 133 for 1,205 yards this season, 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 3 coming into this game, has the 2 picks today.
Yep.
Check out all the cheerleaders today.
Joyce rolls right, cuts it back up the middle, and maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage.
I don't know, Andrew. There's not a lot of plays in the playbook. The third and 25. I don't know if Rob's going to be conservative here and just choose to punt it away. You don't want to get in a hole here, as we said earlier.
Under 30 seconds left in the first quarter, so time ticking away here in this first quarter. And I think you'd agree. This has been an impressive performance by Fairfield Warde in the first quarter. Jack Joyce out of the gun. He'll tuck and run, still looking downfield, throws it up, and that's incomplete. Nice defensive play by Kasim Danazumi, and that's the end of the first quarter, and there are zeros on the scoreboard, Jim Coley. A little bit of a surprise probably to people who follow FCIAC football. Darien coming in with so much offensive firepower, but they have not been able to put it in the end zone.
No, we've got 2 of the Warde coaches over our left side here, and I just saw them giving each other a fist pump after that time went off. They couldn't have been more thrilled about that first quarter. Now, they didn't get any points, but it's clear they've established some momentum, and they are definitely not rolling over.
Well, Jim, I am overdressed this afternoon. I've got my button-down on. You've got the nice short-sleeve button-down shirt, the khaki shorts. It is a summer-like day this afternoon here in Darien. Beautiful weather.
Yeah, and again, we're looking at that flag at the south end of the field here, barely moving at all. This is a dream day for quarterbacks to be passing in, and for that person, punters and kickers. So we've got a punt coming up here now.
Andrew Donovan back to punt for Darien.
Favorable Darien bounce. They picked up an extra 7 yards after it landed.
So the Fairfield Warde offense comes back out onto the field. No score in this one. Darien taking on Fairfield Warde. Darien, of course, in those home blue jerseys. Fairfield Warde in white, moving from right to left on your screen. and senior quarterback Matt Sermonero. Back on the field, out of the shotgun. He swings it to Tyler Llewellyn, incomplete.
It looked like Tyler just kind of gave up a little on that. If he just continues to run upfield, that ball is right in his hands. Unfortunately, it just landed a yard ahead of him.
Fairfield Warde coming off a big 27-0 win over Danbury.
And Andrew, that's a program that everyone's scratching their heads this year, wondering, at 0-5 Danbury, wondering what's going on up there.
Sermonero, and he is taken down by number 73, that's Mike Meary.
Yeah, but you had Drew Ivanchek on the right defensive end, and that's a name familiar to all the Darien helpful here. Another Ivanchek. It's amazing how many players we have on the Darien Blue Wave that have got older brothers that come up through the DGFL and up through the high school here. And he really flushed out Matt Sermonero out of the pocket.
Coach Trefone said before the start of the season, Drew is not in the shadow of his older brother. He's making his own shadow. Sermonero over the middle and nearly picked off by Brian Minikis.
And there he is. He's doing it all. I mean, so far the Blue Wave defense gets the turnover, the 3 and out.
4th down, 15.
So 4th and 15. The Warde punt unit comes onto the field. Sean Sigmund back to punt. Brian Minikis and Tyler Herget back to receive for the Blue Wave. 11:05 left in this second quarter. No score. The punt. And Herget takes it at the 35-yard line, and he gets to about the 42-yard line.
7 yards and completely gobbled up there. Good special teams play by Fairfield Warde. I got to think here, Andrew, I think Rob's got to dial it up. He's got to do something a little bit different here and get this game in sync. The play selection, the conservative play selection thus far, hasn't really done it for the Blue Wave offense. And it doesn't look like they can get Pryor into the game yet, so I think they're going to have to do this through the air.
Well, they certainly have the receivers to do just that. They do give it to Pryor, and he bulldozes his way up the middle, loses his helmet.
He'll have to come off.
And he'll have to come off for a play. And he gets it to the 50-yard line. That just popped off his head, the helmet. You know, you were talking earlier about Brian Minikis and what an athlete he is. Has 3 brothers. Of course, his mom, maybe the most famous Minikis here in Darien, the head coach of the Darien field hockey team, and the Blue Wave field hockey team once again having a great season. Here's Joyce out of the shotgun, near sideline, and a nice defensive play by number 9, Bawar Malika of Fairfield Warde, the senior defensive back, 5'9", 155 pounds.
He just reached right around him and knocked that ball away.
That was perfect timing on Malika's part.
You could see it in the way the defense is playing here for Warde and the way the offense. They're gaining momentum. They're gaining confidence.
No question. Pryor back into the game. Joyce out of the shotgun. He's looking downfield. He's going to keep it, tuck and run, and a nice pickup by Jack Joyce to the 30-yard line.
He picked up nearly 23 yards on that. And that just goes back to what we talked about earlier, Andrew. When you got a quarterback that can tuck and go, you got to respect that. You almost got to put a spy middle linebacker back there watching him just for that play. And you know, no one was spying him, and he just took off. He had a lineman in front of him, and it was 23 yards.
First down. They give it to Pryor, and he doesn't get much, maybe a yard. You know, we've talked a lot about this Darien front 4 on defense. The Fairfield Warde defensive front has done a nice job for the most part this afternoon against Darien's offense.
Well, we got a player down now, just slipped down, number 5. That's the quarterback, Matt Sermonero, playing, it looks like a left safety of some sort. Oh, no, it's number 2, excuse me. That's Clemson Danazimbi.
No, I think you were right the first time. I think it is Sermonero. down on the sideline. And the Warde training staff comes out, as does Coach Della Volpe.
That shows you, the differences in the programs, though. Probably going back a decade ago when Coach T came over from Brigham Man, he made it dedicated. He wanted offensive linemen, he wanted defensive linemen. He didn't want his quarterbacks playing defense or playing middle linebacker or safety. Here you got, a quarterback playing both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and that just goes to show you the depth of this Darien High School football team. And, credit the DJFL. Well, it's a great feeder program for this varsity program here at Darien.
Absolutely. I mean, going back, I know it's DGFL day. Going back when I was on the board, we made a decided effort to begin running the high school playbook at the junior level. And you look at the success of what Braemeyer's had at lacrosse, right?
Yep.
Great feeder program. The girls soccer program, the girls field hockey. We decided about 15 years ago to really step up our game, and I think if you look over the last 7, 8, 9 years, the high school program has had plenty of players that are participating at the high school level and allowing players to play on one side of the ball and a lot more participation. So it's tying that youth program in with the high school program is definitely a plus. And of course, Fairfield Warde suffers by the fact that they have 2 high schools, right? So they're splitting their talent, so to speak.
Right. Same way in Norwalk.
Yes.
And Stamford. Okay, Sermonero walks out on its own power, and Jack Joyce throws it up, and the intended receiver was Brian Minikis in the corner.
He was there. The pass was just slightly underthrown, but he had to split 2 defenders, so he had to put it right on the money.
Yeah, Matt Sermonero, who was injured on the second to last play, he walked off. He was down on the field for a couple of minutes, but he walks off on his own power, which is a good sign for the Mustangs. And it's 3rd and 9 for this Darien offense. Here's Joyce, gets it to Minikis over the middle, and he has room to run. He gets it inside the 10-yard line, so a nice pickup, big play for the Blue Wave offense. And Brian Minikis not just getting it done on defense, but getting it done on offense this season for Darien.
Ball is spotted on the 7-yard line.
All right, well, this is the first time the Wave have been threatening to score today. Let's see what they got here. Quite frankly, this is running territory, but they just haven't got their run game engaged yet.
Joyce stays out of the shotgun, gives it to Pryor. And again, that Fairfield Warde front unit closes quickly.
They're getting it done.
Yep.
They're basically daring a Rob into a passing game. They're just not going to let Pryor get loose up here. The only successful plays have been kind of the broken plays or the design quarterback draw plays. All the design running plays have been pretty stuffed thus far.
Yeah, good point.
Second down, ball on
I mean, if you're Fairfield Warde, you have to be impressed with this effort in the first half against the #1 ranked team in the state. Here's Joyce. Into the end zone, wide open is Brian Minikis, and that is a touchdown. So an 8-yard touchdown from Jack Joyce to Brian Minikis, and Darien is on the scoreboard here with 8:16 left in the first half.
That had to be a blown play. There was no defender within 10 yards of him.
It certainly looked like it. He was wide open. And a beautifully thrown ball. Nice touch by Joyce.
And credit the offensive line of the Blue Wave. They gave Jack plenty of time to get that pass off because that was a long developing play.
Austin Hagender on to attempt the PAT.
There's Austin Hagender, Darien's kicker, to make it 7-0 Darien.
Looks wide.
And it is good. I know our angle isn't the best here, you know.
Well, nice job by Blue Wave. They persevered through that. Obviously, couple critical plays there. Brian Minikis on the touchdown, and they're up 7-0. Staples has got to feel a little bit disappointed here. They've worked hard in the first quarter, and to give up a touchdown now probably feels a little bit deflated. We'll see what they come up with here.
You can hear the marching band in the background through our microphones. Damian Andrew joining Jim Coley on the call this afternoon. Darien taking on Fairfield Warde, and the Blue Wave get on the scoreboard first. 8:16 left in the first half. 7-0 Darien.
And Damien, we're looking at the color change, as you mentioned at the top of the game, and I see something else out there that we haven't seen for a while. I see 2 poles with lights on them. The last town in Fairfield County to get lights. It was a great effort between the DAF and all the organized sports, and the town got behind it. It was a good, hard-fought, I think almost 20-year battle, but it's great to see that the town now, we can actually have some Friday night lights.
We're going to have to, I'm going to have to get your travel schedule and get you back here for the Wilton night game, because it is something, as Pete Graham said, the lights just pop. And it's a beautiful atmosphere here for a night game. Of course, the first night game at home in school history was earlier this season against Brian McMahon. Big win for the Blue Wave, and the crowd, Jim Coley, was terrific. A packed house.
Well, I guess if there was one benefit of waiting so long, the technology had advanced so much that they could put these lights, and you could be standing 2 yards off the sideline, and it is pitch black.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
LED lights. I believe Darien is only the 2nd school in the state with these lights, these LED lights. There's Matt Sermonero. Gives it to Llewellyn, and he is met by that front 4. Gattuso with the stuff at the line.
Boy, that was a good. He looked like he had daylight, and it just got swallowed up. And it's good to see Matt back out there. Matt Sermonero back out there, quarterback. So I guess the injury wasn't too bad.
Yeah, you always like to see that, especially when they walk off on their own, which he did. But he was down on that field for a couple of minutes, so it is a good sign to see him back in there.
Yeah, and I was looking at the depth chart. They would have gone to the quarterback, to the sophomore, Gubin, I guess it is, who's played in a couple games. But yeah, good to see Matt back in there. Got a substitution here on the offensive line. Not sure what. Seems to be a little confusion on the Ward side with a substitution. Number 55 is coming out. That's Ray Idu, offensive lineman, moving a little slowly.
So the ball is on the 36-yard line. Fairfield Warde's offense goes to work over the middle, and that is picked off by Brian Minikis. So Brian Minikis off the deflection, hauls it in, and has the interception.
And you know what? That play, you see the interception. What you don't maybe see is you don't see Peter Gustasso, the senior strong safety, lining up down there on the right end of the defensive line, and it was a safety blitz, right? So that forces Matt Sermonero to maybe get that pass off a little faster than he wanted to, maybe a little earlier than he wanted to, and there you go. You got a turnover. And Pryor is just, he picks up 5, but those are hard 5 yards in the inside there.
He's a workhorse, isn't he?
He is.
He's a big boy, and he can run the rock. First and 10, and Joyce swings it out to the far sideline to number 84.
Will roll up. Like here, another example, another family of kids and boys that come up. And here, we talked earlier, every receiver is a threat. Yep. Will's been sitting over there.
Yep.
First pass to him, they almost don't even look like they're paying attention to him. And what does he do? He nearly picks up a touchdown.
Yep, and he takes it inside the 5-yard line after the catch. So a 46-yard pass catch. Will Rolap, another one of those receivers on this Darien team that you just have to keep an eye on. And the Darien offense, first and goal on the 3rd-yard line. Joyce rolls right and has Patrick Burke wide open in the end zone. Darien gets back on the scoreboard. Joyce to Burke, a 3-yard touchdown pass.
And Ward's been hanging in, and all of a sudden now we got a 14-0 game.
Just like that, quick
Just
strike.
like that.
Austin Hagender on to attempt the PAT.
Hagender is on to make it 14-0 Darien.
Center, I believe, is Ryan.
You got Brian Minikis and a holder. You see that a lot. You got to either backup quarterback or one of the wide receivers, guys with the best hands. And that is good.
And that is true. And the Blue Wave take a 14-0 lead in a span of about 5 minutes, 4 minutes. 6:43 left in the first half. Darien, the #1 ranked high school football team in the state, up 14-0 on Fairfield Warde. Jim Coley, Damian Andrew, and we've got a host of characters behind the scenes putting on this live stream for your enjoyment. Andy Demopoulos is directing, Connor Darby on our main camera, and Will Olson down on the field on with our sideline camera.
Okay, everybody, food is
Absolutely.
available.
Now remember, Darien opened up kicking at the beginning of this game, which means they're going to get the ball in the second half. So you're staring at a 14-0 score here as Ward. So potentially 21-0 if the Darien were to come out to.
So let me ask you this, Jim Coley. How big of an offensive possession is this right here for Fairfield Warde?
You know, it's big, but Andrew, you got to worry about two things. Number one, you don't want to score too quickly and let just Darien have the ball back with 2-3 minutes. We can see how fast this offense can score. So what you really like to do is consume the entire 6.5-minute clock and score, and then go into halftime down 14-7. We'll see what they answer with. Good run back to almost the 35-yard line.
Kasim Danazumi gets it to the, takes it out to the 35-yard line, we'll say, and that's where the Fairfield Warde offense will take over. DJFL Day here at Stadium Field on the campus of Darien High School.
And having led this a few times, you can see the players are beginning to come out of the stands in front of us and go down to the north end of the field where they'll line up and get in their teams and be announced at halftime.
Yeah, we're going to bring you some of that halftime, some of the halftime festivities here, DJFL Day. Here's Sermonero. He keeps it, takes it far sideline, down the far sideline, across midfield. So a nice run by Matt Sermonero.
And whatever injury he had there 2 defensive plays ago, you didn't see it there. That was a design run play right off the right tackle. Nice play call.
Actually, he didn't take it across midfield. They'll gets it to the 49-yard line. Got a little ahead of myself there. 6:34 left in the first half. Darien up 14-0.
Unfortunately, he went out of bounds, so he's kept the clock, stopped the clock.
And here's Tyler Llewellyn, and he is met at the line by number 70, Drew Ivanchik.
Along with Connor Fay, lots of yardage on the play.
PA announcer Anthony Sweeney said Mark Ivanchik, he's the older brother. He's Drew's older brother, of course, the all-time sacks leader in Connecticut high school history.
And interesting enough, not even playing in college. He just elected to play at Penn, play a close pole.
And a heck of a lacrosse player.
And just a heck of an athlete.
And a terrific kid. Had the opportunity to cover him for a couple of years. And I'm going to, little trivia question. So whose record did he break, Jim Coley, for that sacks record?
It's, what's his name?
I know you know this.
I just forgot. As soon as you said it, it went right out of my brain. But he's not playing this year either.
Dwight Freeney.
That's right.
And that's a pass completion. Sermonero to 82, Ben Foster. So a nice pickup on the play for Fairfield Warde.
With the clock running, exactly what you want to be doing with Ward. Keep the ball inside the hash.
Short of the first down, it'll be 3rd down and 2 for the Mustangs.
Well, with 5:18 left here, if they don't pick it up, I don't know if I'd be going for it and giving the ball back to Darien as fast as they scored. I might want to try to pin Darien back in their own end zone.
Sermonero, he's going to keep it. Calls his own number, and he is short of the first down. So a big call here coming up for Duncan Della Volpe, Warde's head coach.
God, you're 2-3. You're playing the #1 team, the 51 ranked team in the country by max preps. I think you go for it.
I agree. And apparently so does the tuba section.
Fourth down, the short one.
Well, play selection call. The play coming in from the sideline, I'm taking a little bit of time. I'm a little surprised. I would have been ready for my next play already, knowing what the result of that was going to be. And you don't want to take a timeout and stop the clock. 4:24 left in the game. I'm thinking quarterback draw. What are you thinking, Andrew?
It'd be a good call, and you're right, and they don't get it.
Stuffed
By that front four of Darien. So Fairfield Warde turns it over on downs. The Darien offense comes back out onto the field, and they will get back to work, and they have time to work with. 4:08 left in the first half. We apologize. We do not have the clock on our live stream for you, so we will continue to update you with how much time is remaining
and I think what
in
we
the
saw,
first half.
And I think what we saw there, Damien, I think what we saw is just a lack of versatility of offense. I mean, we've seen that play now 5 times. It's not even halftime yet.
Jack Joyce gives it to Mitch Pryor, and he picks up maybe a yard, maybe 2.
Oh, we got a fumble.
And we've got a fumble, and Darien turns it over, and Tyler Llewellyn pounces on it, and it's going to be Mustangs ball. So a fortuitous play for the Fairfield Warde defense.
It's what you want to see if you're Fairfield Warde. We talked about it earlier. I'd really like to see them go in 14-7 if you're the head coaching staff there.
If they can somehow find a way to get points on the board on this possession,
First down, number 40.
that would certainly have to make the Warde coaching staff and the players feel good going into the half.
Absolutely. If you'd said at halftime you're down 1 score to the #1 team in the state, I think they would have taken it.
Tyler Llewellyn picks up a couple on first down.
Neary on the stop.
Mike Neary, the tackle for Darien. We've called that name a couple of times this afternoon. Mike Neary, such a integral part of that Darien defense. Second down.
Evans was also in on that tackle.
They continue to show this 3-by-1 with a lone back.
Trips left, single receiver out right, and that's a flag.
False start.
False start on the Warde offense. So that'll back them up 5 yards.
Motion against Warde.
And that's going to hurt them. I mean, that really changes the complexity of the play call. You probably are in 4-down territory. That's different when you're at 10 versus or 9 versus 13 or 14.
I think you got to take a couple of shots downfield here.
Yeah, and risk stopping the clock on an incomplete pass. Probably a good call. Probably see one here.
Sermonero, far sideline, underthrows.
Well, I think there was some miscommunication between the quarterback. That was supposed to look to be like a quick down and out, and you had the receiver continuing down the field, number 7.
Will Stern
didn't even know the ball had been thrown.
Halftime is DJFL Day here at DHS.
And Coach Della Volpe, I'm looking at him on the sideline, hands on his hips, not happy with that last play.
No, I mean both schools are using number systems that came down from the college boards. All these players are carrying risk coaches. There's no more play called in the huddle like the day when you and I were playing football, and it could have been easily just looked at the wrong route that the receiver there.
So it's 3rd and 13.
Don't get that play call.
Llewellyn tries the middle.
And nothing doing on that play. So 4th down coming up.
Along with Bobby Keeney.
That's almost like they're electing that they're not going to score here.
4th down.
4th down, and the punting unit is not coming onto the field, so they will go for it here with 2:55 left in the first half.
It looks like they elected now to punt.
No, now they are going to punt. So they changed course. It looked like the offense was going to stay on the field, Jim, and they bring their punter, Sean Sigmund, out onto the field. Back to receive is Brian Minikis all by himself, but really, as we've seen in this first half, that's all you need is Brian Minikis back by himself. Gets off a good punt. Minikis takes it at the 10. And he gets it to the 20-yard line.
And that was all Brian Minicus. There was nobody back there helping him. 10 hard yards.
Chris Montenegro, number 49 for Fairfield Warde with the tackle.
Also, don't forget your spirit.
So the Darien offense goes back to work with about 2:17 left in the first half. 1st and 10 for Darien. Jack Joyce, the quarterback, first-year signal caller, having a big year for the Blue Wave. He'll operate out of the shotgun, 5 receivers.
Yeah, Rob
and
looks
that
like
is
Rob.
A catch.
Looks like Rob Trefone going empty there. It's pretty much signaling he wants to get another score.
Yes.
Yes. Martin Pryor. Pryor coming off the off that sequence there.
Patrick Burke with the reception. 2nd down and 4. Pickup of 6 on that first down play. And Joyce looking downfield. He goes up top. And that bounces in and out of the hands of Patrick Burke.
And we've got the junior Andrew Lucas, another tremendous running back back there now with protection.
Andrew Lucas, Jim. DAF Media did the Stanford game, big win at Boyle Stadium earlier in the season. Mitch Pryor went down with an injury in the first half of that game. Lucas comes in and he played phenomenal for Rob Trefone. Jack Joyce, he'll keep it, and he's got all sorts of room to run, takes it across midfield inside the 45-yard line, and a big gain for the Blue Wave.
It was about a 35-yard run there, and he had all kinds of help downfield too with his wide receivers. So nice play there. And Blue Wave continues to run an empty backfield here. Oh, we got a timeout by Ward. Maybe to settle them down a little bit.
You know what's impressed me over the last couple of years with this Darien football program? Coach Trefone is a defensive guy. He loves breaking down film, loves breaking down tape. But boy, has he built quite an offensive system here at Darien.
Well, if you look at the evolution of the Darien Blue Wave, 15 years ago when I was here, they were running the wing T. Then we went to the wing T spread. And now we're into a full, really the pro college full West Coast offense, spread offense, whatever you want to call it. And it's, these youth programs now with the 7-on-7, they're all emphasizing this passing game. So there's no surprise that you can come up and have 5, 6, 7 receivers in a class because of all the pass offenses that they've been doing since they were youth, and it shows here. You marry that with a big offensive line, you got yourself a good offense.
Yep. And of course, they had a great offensive lineman last season, Andrew Stuber, who's now playing for Michigan. Joyce out of the shotgun. And he is met behind the line of scrimmage in the backfield by number 68 of Fairfield Warde.
We got a personal foul. It didn't look like much of a late hit, but obviously they want to protect those quarterbacks.
Al Rawanduzzi of Fairfield Warde. And as you said, flag down on the play. Is that a hold?
Oh, it's a hold.
It was a hold, correct?
Yeah, it was. I thought initially they had signaled a personal foul. I thought maybe it was a slight late hit on Jack Joyce, but nope.
Joyce. He's going to keep it near sideline and out of bounds, almost to the 30-yard line.
Boy, the Ward defensive coordinator has got to make a decision at halftime. Is he going to spy Jack Joyce or not? Because
good point.
Jack Joyce, outside of Brian Minicus, has probably been the biggest second threat on the team. He's picking up a lot of yards. I don't know what he's got for the first half, but it's probably at least 75, 80. He looks tired. Doesn't he?
He does. Takes it to the 33-yard line. First down for Darien with 1:07 left. in the first half.
Jack smartly getting out of bounds there.
5 receivers, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. He puts it up top near sideline, looking for Minikis, and a great catch. Stays inbounds, gets it to about the 6-yard line. A great catch by the senior, Brian Minikis.
Will Stern was right there. I mean, it should have been a pick, and Minikis just went over the top and took it.
First and goal, Darien from the 7.
That was a tremendous reception.
So first down at the 7-yard line. So the Darien offense inside the red zone here again, and looking to put its 3rd score on the board.
59 seconds left in the game. Plenty of time to score here.
3 receivers out left, 2 out right. Here's Joyce looking,
He's got number 2
dancing
in the
around,
middle.
and he's just going to throw that out of the end zone.
Alex Demmel was wide open right under the goal post. I don't think Jack saw him initially, and he was waving his hands up there like trying to get his attention. But as you know, Andrew, he's fighting for his life back there when he's getting flushed out. It's a little hard sometimes to find that last open receiver.
He was doing a little dance back there.
Yeah, the Warde had it bottled up. They didn't let him get outside the offensive lineman.
Big defensive sequence, Jim, for Fairfield Warde here. It's a matter of being down 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns here in this first half. Andrew Lucas in the backfield. Here's Joyce, and that is incomplete.
Just a little underthrown.
Patrick Burke, the intended receiver for the Blue Wave. Little underthrown.
Little underthrown. I was surprised. I know he wants to get the touchdown there, but he had Andrew Lucas on the swing right on the bubble power route. Could have easily hit him, and I think Lucas would have gotten in.
Timeout on the field.
We've gone almost the entire first half, and we haven't even mentioned this 30-game win streak that Darien is on right now. They haven't lost since 2014, and they lost to their arch rivals, New Canaan. Their last regular season loss was to St. Joe's in 2013. So a 30-game win streak is, what did you say, 57th ranked team in the country by Max Preps?
53rd.
53rd ranked high school football team in the country this season by Max Preps. It's got to be a little bit warm out on the turf for these players, so fatigue, we'll monitor that in the second half.
Cramping, we're going to be watching for cramping in the second half. You know, you want to get out there and in the halftime in the locker room and really gas back up with some Gatorade. Interesting play call coming up here. You really, if you're the Blue Wave, you'd really like to put this out of reach right now.
Yeah.
But you don't want to have a turnover right here on the goal line either. So we're going empty again.
3 touchdowns with their defense makes it a tough ask for Fairfield Warde in the second half. Here's Joyce. And it's incomplete. Over the middle, it was intended for number 29, Tyler Herget, the junior receiver.
And Jack Joyce didn't have any options there. Every receiver was well covered. Now, if you're Darien, do you want to place kick it and go for 3, get a field goal, or do you want to try to put this game out of reach? Fairfield Warde has definitely flexed, but they haven't yielded yet here on this drive. And it looks like Rob is called the play, and Jack's coming out. It looks like. I guess they're going to kick the field goal.
And they've got a kicker, Austin Hagender. He can kick it. Had a 30-yard field goal in the season-opening win over Ridgefield. You know, there were a lot of question marks coming into this season for Darien. They've had back-to-back state championship seasons, lost some players to graduation. What kind of Darien team would this be? And boy, did they make a statement in that win over Ridgefield, a 38-12 win over the Tigers in Ridgefield at Tiger Hollow.
Boy, I like the fake call here. You got Brian Minikis. I've seen him throw the football. You only got to get 6-7 yards for the touchdown. Put the game out of the way. I don't know if they're going to do that this early in the game, but that'd be a bold call.
Hagender. And that is good. Just inside the left post. So Hagender with a 17-yard field goal. Is that what it was? 17-yard field goal?
I got 35 seconds left in the half.
35 seconds left in the half. Darien up 17-0. Darien, Fairfield Warde facing each other. FCIAC matchup on a beautiful fall afternoon here at Stadium Field on the Darien High School campus. I want to give a shout out once again to our production crew doing a tremendous job bringing you the visuals of this game. Andy Demopoulos directing for us, Connor Darby on our midfield camera, and Ben Olson bringing us some sideline picks down on the field. Jim Coley, Damian Andrew. This is a DAF media live stream. Darien and Fairfield Warde. The Blue Wave, the #1 ranked team in the state of Connecticut. 30-game win streak and up 17-0 here on Fairfield Warde, and they get ready to kick it off with 35 seconds left after the Austin Hagender 17-yard field goal.
And exactly what you expect to see. You saw a squib kick.
Squib kick. And Will Stearns brings it out to the 35-yard line.
And burned 8 seconds off of those 35 precious seconds. Be interesting to see if Warde just elects to take a knee and go in and regroup, or are they going to try to put something together here?
What do you do, Jim? Just
if it's me, I think I take the victory formation and just take the knee. It doesn't look like they're electing to do that. I'd like to get in that locker room and talk to my team and say, what was the team I want is the team I had in the first quarter, not the one in the second quarter.
Yep. It was scoreless after the first quarter between these two FCIAC teams. And they keep it on the ground. Tyler Llewellyn carried about 3 Darien defenders with him to the 45-yard line.
Kevin Gruen at the bottom of the pile.
18 seconds left in the first half.
And Warde's got 1 timeout left.
And they give it to Llewellyn again up the middle, keeps his legs moving, and a nice pickup here, shy of the first down. Picks up about 8 yards, but that is going to do it with, no, it's not. 2 seconds left as the refs blow the whistle. As we mentioned at the outset, it's DJFL Day here at Stadium Field. All the participants in the DJFL will be recognized at halftime. We will bring you some of those pictures here on our live stream.
You know, maybe not a bad call here, taking it with you. Look, it's 2 seconds left. You go vertical, typical 4 guys vertical, throw it up there. Who cares about another pick? Maybe you get lucky.
Go vertical, yeah, exactly. Hey, big day for us. Your alma mater, USC, playing Notre Dame tonight. My alma mater, Penn State, playing Michigan tonight. Both 7:30 starts. Yankees playing the Astros in a Game 7, big sports day. And of course, we're getting started with this Darien Fairfield Warde high school football game this afternoon.
Yeah, it's a lot of selections tonight. You're going to have to be doing the picture-in-picture.
Exactly. Or bust out the multiple TVs. 2 seconds, they give it a little trickery here. And that'll do it for the first half. Darien up 17-0 at the half against Fairfield Warde. You can hear the Darien High School marching band, pep band here in the background. So the #1 ranked team in the state took them a little while to get going, but they score 17 points in the second quarter.
Definitely a slow start for the Wave. I'm not sure if they were underestimating Warde They did look flat on offense initially, and the defense, I think, did a nice job of holding them in and keeping that game scoreless in the first half. Because Warde definitely came out. Their offense came out and was looking to execute and score early.
Jim Coley, this has been a lot of fun so far. I told you it would be, and what an entertaining game thus far. We are going to take a quick break. We're going to bring you some video of that DJFL halftime festivities, and we will be back with second half action here on the DAF Media Network.
Assistant coaches John Calabro, Chris Levine.
It's halftime here at Stadium Field on the Darien High School campus. The Darien Blue Wave, the #1 ranked team in the state, up 17-0 on Fairfield Warde. You are watching right now the DJFL halftime festivities. It's DJFL Day here at Stadium Field. Damian Andrew, joined by Jim Coley. Jim, you used to be the president of this Darien Junior Football League. It has really become a tremendous feeder program for the high school football teams.
Absolutely. Darien Junior Football League, over 500 kids this year between the tackle and the flag program, starting from first grade all the way up to 8th grade. And Andrew, I don't know if you know it, but the DJFL is one of the founding members of the FCFL, the Fairfield County Football League.
Okay.
There were 4 teams that broke away from the program that Greenwich had. We weren't pleased with the way that the development part of the game, which is really important to all those towns that are in the FCFL, and broke away with New Canaan, Westport, and Wilton, and founded the FCFL probably about 14, 15 years ago, and continues to grow. I don't know how many there is now. I think there may be 9 towns in the FCFL. Darien should be very proud. Typically every year, although we're not the biggest town, we tend to have the most players, and that really tells you something about the program and the quality of the system. It's a great volunteer program, having led it for a couple of years.
Yeah, and there you talk about the number of kids involved in the DJFL. You can see by this video we've been bringing you on this live stream the numbers for the DJFL.
And something we haven't seen until the last few years, one of the board members' wives, Deborah Medlar, started the cheerleading program. We had it back in the days, back 15 years ago. We got out of it, and I'm glad to see that we've got an opportunity now for the young girls to participate here.
Yeah, a number of cheerleaders out on the field, welcoming in all the football teams out of the DJFL. And this has to be a thrill when you're a young kid to be able to come out on a beautiful field like this field here at Stadium Field, newly turfed. It's where the varsity team plays. It's probably where some of these kids aspire to play someday themselves at the varsity level. Of course, as we talked when we were first getting to know each other off camera before the varsity game today, you were talking about how you know a number of these varsity football players from your days involved with the DJFL.
Yeah, we're talking, it's unfortunate Nick Green's not playing today, but I remember seeing Nick Green play his first DJFL game. It was a game right after I was coaching, and I turned to my twin boys at the time. I said, this kid's going to be a player. I know he's not out there today, but you can sometimes see a player, not always. Sometimes kids develop late, but Nick Green was a heck of a football player as a youth player. And you're right, Andrew, the kids look forward to this day. They circle 2 days on their calendar. They circle this day, and they circle the day when Rob brings down the varsity players, and the varsity players come and intermingle for a practice game. And they really get a thrill out of that. So really good, tight relationship between the high school program and the youth program.
Jim, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with second half action here from Stadium Field on the campus of Darien High School. Darien up 17-0 at the half on Fairfield Warde. Welcome back, everybody. We are about to start the second half here between Darien and Fairfield Warde. Damian Andrew with Jim Coley on the call for DAF Media. Andy Demopoulos directing. Connor Darby on our main camera. Will Olson down on the sideline camera. Darien up 17-0. Jack Joyce, touchdown pass to Brian Minikis in the second quarter at about the 8:16 mark, and then Joyce finding Patrick Burke for a touchdown minutes later, I should say, and then 17-yard field goal from Austin Hagender makes it 17-0 Blue Wave. Fairfield, Darien won the coin toss at the beginning of the game. They deferred to the second half, so they will be receiving. Fairfield Warde kicking off. Number 6, Sean Sigmund, will get the second half underway here in Darien. And a short kick taken at about the 34-yard line.
Number 30, Will Kirby on the short kick on the second line.
Will Kirby has seen some time in the backfield at running back for Rob Treffone's team this season. So, Coach Coley, what can we expect here in the early going of this second half?
Well, look, you've got 2 full quarters here. If you're Darien, you do not want to take your foot off the pedal. You know, you want to put this game out of reach early. I think we'll see more of the same. I think more in the air. The run game's been a little bit, well, and Lucas, so
Andrew Lucas picks up a couple, gets it to about the 46-yard line.
And Lucas provides a little bit different look for that front four. You know, I tend to think of Pryor as kind of a downhill runner, kind of a bruiser. Lucas a little more of a cutter.
Lucas stays in, 4 receivers, 2 right, 2 left. Here's Joyce near sideline, gets it to Brian Minikis, and that is a first down for the Blue Wave. Brian Minikis has been in on a lot of play calls this afternoon for this Blue Wave offense. So 1st and 10 for the Blue Wave. Ball on the Warde 47-yard line. And this Darien offense goes back to work. Joyce keeps it himself, and he is met in the backfield by number 30, Hunter Rasmussen, for Fairfield Warde.
Yeah, that was a delayed draw blitz right up the middle, and Jack Joyce smartly just tucked the ball and went. And we're gone empty again here, Andrew.
Empty backfield. Joyce rolls right. So good on the run and incomplete. The intended receiver was number 19, Patrick Burke, who had a touchdown in the first half.
Yeah, and he had it in the almost same pattern. He had Brian Minikis open also. Chose to go with the deeper receiver.
Want to thank all of you for watching this live stream presented by the Darien Athletic Foundation. Jack Joyce back to work out of the shotgun, throws it near side of the field. There's Tyler Herget, and he gets to the 35-yard line.
And already we're seeing a different defensive look. We've seen 3 blitzes in here in the first series. That one by the strong DB, Quezim Danasium, I think is how he pronounces it. Anyways, marching down again to the left side of the Darien O-line, and a blitz there, putting pressure on the quarterback.
Jim, so far, this first offensive possession, this first drive for the Blue Wave, very methodical in their approach.
Yeah,
picking apart that Warde defense. Here's Joyce.
I'm guessing at halftime, Coach T was probably not too pleased with that first quarter. This looks like the Darien team that we're more used to seeing. This looks like it's all business right now.
So Patrick Burke on the reception, close to the first down for Darien. 9:47 left in the third quarter. And they do pick up the first down. 1st and 10 for Darien. Lucas keeps it on the ground. Far sideline, picks up some yards here. Another first down for the Blue Wave. And the Blue Wave offense is on the move.
And Lucas carrying a couple defenders there, but you can see his versatility, his speed on that sweep right, and then turned it right up and just motored it.
Andrew Lucas, I mentioned he had a big game in that win over Stanford earlier this season, Jim, but he has a nice little change of pace for this Darien offense, the junior running back.
And we're going to see more of him next year, too.
No question. So 1st and 10 for the Blue Wave. Joyce out of the shotgun, over the middle, incomplete. And that looked like it could have been a flag. No flag on the play. The intended receiver was Patrick Burke, number 19, the senior. Patrick Burke coming into this game, 19 receptions, 290 yards, 3 touchdowns. So he picks up his 4th touchdown of the season today with that first half touchdown. Joyce to Burke, which made it 14-0 Darien. It's 17-0 now. Just underway in the second half between these FCIAC rivals. Joyce out of the shotgun. He's going to keep it on the ground, tuck and run, and takes it to the 5-yard line.
They had another linebacker delay blitz there. Line did a good job of picking up. Jack Joyce found a crease and took off. Very respectable run. We're on the 5-yard line with 3rd down.
3rd down and 3. The ball is on the 4-yard line as Darien is knocking on the door again. Inside the red zone, here's Joyce. And he rolls right, tosses it up, incomplete, and that was nearly a touchdown in the back of the end zone. Alex Damo, the senior receiver.
Yeah, he was open momentarily and had the ball.
Damo came into this game, 7 catches, 145 yards, and a touchdown.
4th down, 3.
He'll come off the field.
Darien keeps the offense on the field.
And Darien is going to go for it on 4th and 3.
3 receivers, right, Mathis in the slot.
Well, this is one of the things you practice all week, this play right here. Let's see what Rob and the team dial up.
Here's Joyce into the end zone. Intercepted.
Intercepted in the end zone by number 21, Jeff Saganos.
Intercepted by number 21, Jeff Saganos. And so the Blue Wave turn it over in the red zone, and that's certainly not going to make Coach Trefone too happy.
No, and again, Jack Joyce hit the receiver right in the hand, one of those bounce up like we saw in the first quarter, the first interception that Joyce gave up. Can't ask for anything more than hitting a receiver in the hands.
So the ball will come out to the 20-yard line, and the Fairfield Warde offense will go to work. Down 17-0. Their first offensive possession of the second half, and Jim Coley, this is an important drive here for the Mustangs if they want to get back in this ball game.
Yeah, your defense has been out there for a while since the halftime. You don't want to go 3 and out here. You want to establish something, and there we go.
Sarah Minos gets it to Will Stearns, and a nice pickup for the Mustangs, and that is good enough for a first down.
Really stretched the field, good play selection there, and then hit the underneath receiver. You don't see a lot of motion in this offense. You notice that? Actually, neither of them used a lot of motion. I'm kind of a little bit surprised with these spread offenses.
Well,
and Darien's got a lot of speed. I would think you have a lot of motion changing the looks.
I have to tell you, of course, football fans nowadays love offense. I love these spread offenses. When I played high school football, it was 1 yard and a cloud of dust. I formation, give it to your back, and he carried you. Here's Ceramino, swings it out to number 21, Jeff Saganos, and he picks up another Fairfield Warde first down. So the Fairfield Warde offense now here early in the second half, moving the ball well on this Darien defense.
Yeah, definitely. This looks like the Fairfield Warde team we saw in the first quarter. And, you know, the quarterback is doing a nice job of mixing his receivers.
And that is incomplete.
Yeah, you have Connor Fay coming right up the middle on the blitz.
Sermonero, incomplete. You know, you had mentioned Connor Fay in the first half, talked about this Darien linebacking core. Coach Trefone told me this earlier in the season. He said, this might be the best group of linebackers I've ever had. That is saying something because he's had some pretty good linebackers in the past, especially in recent years.
Well, we had his old defensive coordinator who played in the NFL with him, Brian McMahon, so that's a pretty strong statement.
Yep. Idris Price.
Idris Price, that's the name I was searching for. Played for the Miami Dolphins, I believe.
Who has a Super Bowl ring with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I believe he also has a championship ring in the Arena Football League. That is an incomplete pass on the far sideline intended for Kasim Danazumi of Fairfield Warde. Yeah, I believe Price has a Super Bowl ring. I know he has a Super Bowl ring.
Super Bowl ring.
And I'm pretty sure he played in the Arena Football League for a bit. I think he has a championship ring from that league.
And I had an opportunity to get to know him when he was coaching here. One of the nicest guys.
Great guy. His son's now playing football, and had the chance to have some conversations with him a couple of times over the years.
Important third down call here.
Big third down here for Fairfield Warde. It's complete, but it's going to be shy of the first down.
And Andrew, did you see we had 4 guys come through on that design play, that screen pass, and the Darien defensive men turned around and ran him down from behind.
Yep.
4th down, 6.
Absolutely.
That's a versatile front four.
It is a versatile front four, and that was Danazumi on the reception there, but can't pick up enough for the first down. So Sean Sigmund is back to punt for the Fairfield Warde Mustangs.
Ooh, dangerous catch, Tyler Harrogate. Excuse me, that was Brian Minicus able to reel that in.
He reels it in at around the 30-yard line, Darien's own 30-yard line. So no Mitch Pryor yet in this second half. Andrew Lucas comes back out onto the field. Number 43, the junior running back for the Blue Wave. And the Darien offense goes back to work. Jack Joyce will operate out of the shotgun. And he gives it to Lucas, and he takes it right up the middle. Picks up a couple of yards.
And we talk about the cat and mouse between the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. They had a double blitz going. At the same time, the Darien was going to run the ball up the middle, and guess what? Stuffed.
Stuffed, yep. That breeze feels nice. Beautiful day, as we've mentioned a couple times on this broadcast. Beautiful fall afternoon. Here's Joyce. He goes up top, incomplete, intended for number 19, Patrick Burke.
And Burke was well covered there. That was probably fortuitous that pass was overthrown.
DAF Media will be broadcasting the Blue Wave boys soccer game Monday afternoon against Norwalk, 4 o'clock start. Here's Joyce, back to pass, and he is wrapped up by Tyler Llewellyn and a couple of his teammates.
And that seems to be the name of the game for the second half for the Warde. They are going to blitz and make Joyce make quick decisions. and maybe get a quick interception. Joyce has been running for his life in the second half here.
Joyce looked like he was a little dinged up on that play, but 20 gets tackled at around the 22-yard line, so Darien will punt this away with 4:44 left in the third quarter. Andrew Donovan gets off a beautiful punt, fielded at the 40-yard line. And number 33, Blake Seller, with a big tackle. It was fielded by Jeff Saganos, and Seller brings him down at the 20-yard line, or the 40-yard line.
Actually dropped him for a net 2- loss.
It's a nice punt by Donovan.
Yep. Well, Warde has got excellent field position here.
.433 left in the third quarter. Darien leading Fairfield Warde 17-0. Ceramanos back to pass, near sideline, overthrown, intended for 82 Ben Foster.
And Captain Mike Neary making that play, coming up through the middle, basically unmolested, and really put a lot of pressure on Matt Seminaro.
How many times have we called Neary's name today, Jim Coley? He's having a big game on the defensive side of the ball for the Blue Wave. He was a big part of last year's state championship team. Of course, Darien back-to-back Class LL state champs. There's Sermonero. Keeps it himself, and he doesn't get much.
Credit the linebacking crew there. I mean, that looked like it was open when it was designed, and then immediately swallowed up.
Third down, 9.
Connor Fay, number 44. The junior linebacker. He'll be back next season for
Sure
Coach
will.
Trafone.
Well, this is no time for Warde to be conservative. You're down 17-0. This quarter is slipping away from you. Only 3:44 left. You got to put a score on the scoreboard here. Something. Interesting formation.
Puts it up, and that is intercepted by Connor Tinkin, and he takes it inside the 35-yard line. So the Darien offense comes back out onto the field, and they are in business in the Warde half of the field. Big interception by Connor Tinkin.
And I was confused by that formation. I don't know. We haven't seen that formation today by Warde. It was a kind of a tight, almost like a double wing type formation. I'm not sure what they were trying to accomplish there.
So here we go with 3:22 left in the third quarter. They give it to Andrew Lucas as Darien keeps it on the ground inside the 30-yard line. Flag on the play. Holding on Darien, so that'll back the Blue Wave offense up 5 yards.
Yeah, you see that flag thrown among all those big offensive linemen, you can usually guarantee it's an offensive line.
Yeah, you pointed that out right away. You knew right away. DJFL Day here at Stadium Field on the campus of Darien High School.
First down, 22.
Joyce goes back to work up top, and that is picked off by Jeff Saganos. So an interception by Jack Joyce as Darien tries to stretch the field. 17-0 Blue Wave with 2:50 left in the third quarter.
And again, they chose to blitz a linebacker, and I just wondered if it's just causing a little timing problem for Jack Joyce. He overthrew that receiver by a good 3-4 yards. I just think Warde is continuing to show blitz almost every defensive play here now.
Jim, we have the opportunity to welcome in Martin Pryor, the president of the DJFL, and what a day, Martin, for DJFL Day here at Darien High School. Beautiful weather, the Blue Wave varsity team's up 17-0. The halftime festivities, perfect.
A lot of fun for our kids today. To showcase the program. We have over 500 kids when you combine all the programs, and they really have a lot of fun coming out here and supporting the Blue Wave high school team.
You know, Jim's been in your position as leading the DJFL. How important has the DJFL been to the success of this varsity program?
Yeah, I think Jim can speak to it as well, but the fact that we try to incorporate the sets and the plays that the high school does, particularly in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, it really allows the kids to come in well prepared for Coach Trafone to actually come in and perform and understand the system. So we continue to coordinate that way, and kids enjoy it, and we have just great volunteer coaches. We have over 100 volunteers between all the different coaches, between parents and player coaches and the cheerleading. So.
Well, it all starts with the youth programs, no doubt about it, and the DJFL does such a great job. How great has it been for your players to practice on this field under the lights now, the new LED lights here, recently installed over the summer here at Stadium Field? That's got to be a real treat for the young players.
Tremendous enhancement for everybody. The coaches, particularly coming from the city, can come in and actually show up and practice under some real lights as opposed to temporary lights. We've been really happy and pleased this season to enjoy that. So we'll continue to have that going forward.
Martin's being very modest, but Martin and I, when we were back coaching together in the DJFL with his older son and my 2 twin boys, we used to set up one light down here at the end of the end zone, and we'd have that out there, and that was it. And it was kind of almost scary to think we practiced that way.
It was, yeah. I think it was dangerous at some extent, but we made do. But now we are with full lights and ability to practice up until 7:30, which is tremendous for us.
And you can always microwave the dinner a little later in the evening. I remember Coach Trafone heading into the postseason. They'd bring in those temporary lights just so they could practice because they couldn't obviously practice. You know, it gets darker earlier. Obviously, flag on the play here as we get back to a little bit of the action. But Martin, impressive effort by the Blue Wave here against Fairfield Warde.
Yeah, we're excited to see them play here. Obviously, we're a little bit on our heels today, a little bit seems like, but we're going to probably finish this off. But it's coming in here with our streak. I think they're going to continue to hold it. But we like to see the boys play a little bit better. But they're winning. They're ahead, and they're going to hold on and finish this up.
You mentioned the streak, 30-game win streak, and obviously you and I were talking off camera earlier today and earlier in the week. The DJFL postseason is upon us, so the next couple of weeks here, next few weeks are going to be big for some of these youth football players in Darien.
So everybody makes the playoffs, so you have a first round of playoffs, and you proceed the next 2 weeks to finals, depending on the number of teams in your league. So they're all excited about turning the corner next week, and we have, again, we have a lot of participation. That's what's the most important thing, that kids are participating and coming back every year to play. It's a lot of fun.
So, Andrew, in that last play there, looked like it was a pass interference initially called, and then the refs talked it over and they waved it off. So that put them right back on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the Fairfield Warde offense still back out on the field. Martin Pryor, thanks so much for joining us, the president of the DJFL.
Nice seeing you again.
And the DJFL playoffs getting underway here in the next few weeks.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, I was a little initially surprised they called pass interference, and I think the better, once they kind of talked it over, they waved it off.
Seminaro back to pass, and that is complete to Jeff Saganos. Jeff Saganos.
He's having a big game.
He's having a big game, yeah.
And Connor, Mike Neary got a hand on that and actually tipped that ball.
So a heads-up play by Saganos to catch that football. Under a minute left here in the third quarter. Darien up 17-0.
And Neary nearly had what every defensive lineman wants to do, is intercept the ball and run it back for a touch. He had daylight all the way. Yeah. He had daylight to the end zone. He's probably knocking himself with that one.
Seminaro rolls right, throws incomplete. Nice play by Alex Damel to break up that pass.
And Connor Fay right in front. Also, again, a little bit of a tip there, looked like.
Will Stearns was the intended receiver for Fairfield Warde, and the Mustangs punt unit will come out onto the field. Brian Minikis and Tyler Herget back to receive for the Blue Wave.
They've gotten their workout today, haven't they?
Certainly have. They certainly have.
I don't know what number punt this is. It's 6, 7, or 8. I can't remember now.
And I think Martin Pryor said it correctly. Darien in control of this game, but certainly have not played one of their better games of the season.
You know, that sometimes happens, particularly in high school football, and you see it in college. You're looking ahead of the schedule. I guarantee you the Wave is looking to that Thanksgiving game, that New Canaan game. And, you know, you just, as we talked at the beginning of the hour, at the beginning of the game, you can't overlook any opponent here in the FCIAC.
First and 10. Jack Joyce out of the shotgun.
Another blitz.
And here's Lucas, and he is wrapped up by Hunter Rasmussen, or Tyler Llewellyn, excuse me.
Gain of 1 yard on the play, 2nd down 9. Let's make it 2nd and 8.
And that'll do it for the third quarter, the end of the third quarter. No points on the board in this second half from either team. It's 17-0 Darien as we get ready to start the final 12 minutes of play. So Staples, or Darien rather, coming off that big win over Staples in Westport. Staples, one of those programs that has had a lot of tradition through the years. State championships, FCIAC championships. Maybe coming off that big win on the road, a little flat Darien coming into this game.
Maybe a little banged up too.
Here's Jack Joyce scrambling. He's going to pick up a first down and then some. Takes it inside the 35-yard line.
I think that's the
third. Or the 40-yard line, I should say.
That's the third quarterback, look like design quarterback draw play, and every one of those plays have picked up 15 or more yards.
And again, to your point in the first half, a dual threat quarterback, you've got to spy him almost because he has the ability to tuck and go. Here's Lucas, far sideline, picks up a yard or two. The tuba section's back up, Jim.
Yes, it is.
Jim Coley, Damian Andrew.
And we were just visited by Mike Gagliari, another DGFL former president, the one before me. And he made the comment, team looks just a little bit flat today. Not exactly sure why. Fortunately, they got 17 points up on the scoreboard. And we had a penalty in the last play. I didn't see it.
I did not either. I left our broadcast perch, so my apologies. Here's Joyce out of the shotgun. Dumps it to Andrew Lucas over the middle, and Lucas, nice gain from Andrew Lucas, the junior running back.
It was a designed middle screen play, and you know, the lineman, you get your big lineman out there, and Lucas made the most of it.
And he takes it inside the 35-yard line down to the 33. So it's 2nd down and 7, ball on the 33 for the Blue Wave offense.
And more importantly, Trefone dialing up down the middle of the field. The clock just continues to erode away for Fairfield Warde.
Here's Lucas as Darien keeps it on the ground. Gets to about the 35-yard line before he is wrapped up.
Matt Cota with the stop, ball on the 31.
Matt Cota the stop, the senior linebacker for Fairfield Warde.
And Minicus just came out of the game, subbed in for him as Alex Delmo. We might see more of that here in the next few minutes.
4 receivers, 3 out to the right. Here's Joyce, going to get to the near sideline and get out of bounds.
And we got a flag.
And there's a flag on the play.
Usually where that's thrown, that's usually a late hit, and the ref is signaling it's against Fairfield Warde.
So penalty against Fairfield Warde.
That's going to create a first down probably. At some point here, you're going to see Trefone flush the starters or some of the starters and bring some of the seconds in.
Well, when you're up 17 with 9:57 left in the game, it does give you an opportunity to give some of your backups some valuable minutes.
And also take the risk, de-risk the team, right? You don't want to have a critical injury to one of your critical players in the late minutes of a game that looks like it's put away.
So first down and 10, ball on the 21 for Darien. They give it to Lucas, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Jake Hios in on the tackle for Fairfield Warde. Here's Joyce out of the shotgun, going down the near sideline, puts it up for Andrew Lucas, and Tyler Llewellyn breaks it up. Nice coverage there from Llewellyn.
Yeah, he's been all over the place. He's had a standout game for Fairfield Warde. That ball was a little underthrown. He had turned around. He might have even got a pick there.
Yeah, as I mentioned in the first half, I had talked to Fairfield Warde Athletic Director Seth Fry before this game, and he said keep an eye on Tyler Llewellyn, and we certainly have called his name many times this afternoon. Third down, Joyce looking end zone, and that's overthrown. The intended receiver was Patrick Burke.
Yeah, same play actually. Different defender, but same play. They must see something over there they like. Once they play back to back. Well, it's fourth down. I mean, 3 points really doesn't do much for you here. You're up 17-0. You might as well just go for it. And that looks like what Coach Trefone and the staff have decided to do. You don't see the kicker coming out. And here's something we haven't seen. We have still got Jack Joyce rolling left at this time, and it was dropped. We're going to turn the Blue Wave. We're going to turn the ball over on their own 20 on the Ward 24.
So it is DJFL day here at Stadium Field, and Jim Coley, our director, Andy Demopoulos, who does a great job for DAF Media, he played in the DJFL. And Andy, what kind of experience was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, at DJFL, our coaches kind of put in a hard work ethic for us, and leading into high school, it really prepared us to play in the high school. We learned the fundamentals in DJFL, which very much put us into a good position to be prepared for high school.
And Andy, now a freshman, playing on the freshman team as the Fairfield Warde offense goes to work. Sermonero picks up a couple for Fairfield Warde.
And Andrew, how much did your coaches, your freshman coaches, appreciate when you came up from the 8th grade, how much knowledge you had of the offense and the defense already in the high school playbook?
Yeah, I mean, in DJFL, I mean, our coaches did a great job of getting in, like, a lot of the fundamentals, which would help us in high school a lot more. So yeah, DGFL prepared us a lot for the high school. Both our defensive coaches and offensive coaches doing a great job to do so.
And Sermonero takes a shot downfield intended for Tyler Llewellyn. Incomplete.
Yeah.
Andy, thank you so much for
And
hopping on.
He had Drew Ivanchek hanging all over him. Surprised he could even get that pass off.
Third down, 2.
Once again, our production crew, give a shout out to them. Connor Darby on our main midfield camera, doing a great job. Ben Olson down on the sidelines with our sideline camera, and Andy Demopoulos, who you just heard on this live stream, has been directing for us this afternoon. Here's Sermonero. He keeps it on the ground and picks up a yard.
And I don't know if you saw what happened there, Andrew, but they clearly are spying Matt Sermonero. So Darien, number 8, Peter Gutsaso, I guess it is?
Pete Gattuso.
Gattuso.
Yep.
Spied him, saw he was going to go on a design run play and come up. And I'm surprised that Ward did not do that with Jack Joyce today. Jack Joyce hurt Ward almost as much on his feet as he did in his arm.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, probably, you know, he's got 2 passing touchdowns, I know, but probably hurt him more on the ground than with his arm. Sermonero gives it to Llewellyn.
Llewellyn with the ball.
And into a pack of Blue Wave defenders. And he goes nowhere. 7:42 left in the game. Darien up 17-0. And really, Jim, we'd be remiss if we didn't say what an effort Ward has given this afternoon against the number 1 ranked team in the state. They came into this game ready to play Darien.
They did, and I don't know who else they got left on the schedule, but the teams that they were left to play should take some notice here.
Downfield overthrown. The intended receiver was Will Stearns, the junior receiver for Fairfield Warde.
And Andrew, I'm looking ahead. Next week, Ward has got Staples, so that could be an interesting game. Darien obviously dominated Staples, really manhandled them, quite frankly. And they've been able to manage to somewhat stay in this game. It could be an interesting game between the Wreckers and the Mustangs.
And Darien next week is on the road at Trumbull, so they have a road game. And then they're back home against Wilton for a game under the lights here at Stadium Field. Their second home night game of the season. And chances of them playing a home night game here in the state playoffs is very high.
Yeah, I think the original charter, they're allowed to play a certain number of playoff games as part of the number of nights that high school is allowed to have.
And how big, you know, Martin, you and I and Martin were talking about this in the third quarter. How big is it now to have these lights? You can practice into the evening preparing for the state playoffs. You don't have to bring in temporary lights.
Well, I could tell you there were days when I was coaching with Martin, and we would actually practice that behind the town hall there. We'd actually take cars with headlights and spray them out to lights just so we could get some light past 4:30 in the afternoon. Right? People don't understand once the clock goes in and it's championship week, there's just no light past 4:30. It's really critical.
Absolutely. Sermonero flushed out of the pocket, throws it up, incomplete.
Pressure in the backfield.
That was
all sorts of pressure by that Darien defense. And
he had Connor Fade down there for a second, though, but he's getting up. It looks like he just maybe got a little shaken up. Matt Sermonero was running for his life there. It was amazing he got that play off.
Ben Foster was the intended receiver for Fairfield Warde on the far sideline. Connor Fay comes off the field. And it'll be a 4th down situation, 4th and 7 for Darien, or for Fairfield Warde, rather.
And we don't see a punter. I guess if you're down 17-0, I guess you got to go for it, even if it's in your side of the field.
Under 7 minutes left in the game, Ward's going for it. And that is nearly picked off on the far sideline by Alex Damel.
Yeah, their intended receiver, Will Stern, went up to get it. Just a little overthrown, even out of his reach.
And here we are, Jim, at our broadcast location. Ben Olson bringing us the great pictures this afternoon from the sideline. So it's 17-0, Darien leading Fairfield Warde here with 6:43 left in the game. And that is the Darien marching band you hear in the background.
And I'm a little surprised to see Jack Joyce still in this game, honestly.
Risk of injury?
Risk of injury.
Yeah. Here's Joyce going up top, and that is picked off. Flag on the play. It's intercepted by Bawar Malaka.
Play by number 9, Malaka, but there's a flag on the play. Let's wait and see.
It could be defensive pass interference. You got defensive holding, actually. So that's gonna come back. And the substitutions began. Charlie Zero coming out, had a heck of a game there on right tackle, replaced by Mac Sloan, the sophomore. And this is what we typically see of Darien. We'll sub out a lineman by lineman. They won't take the whole line out at one time. That's just too much disruption for the quarterback. Defense, you can get away with it. Offense, because of the mechanics of the snap count, one by one's the way to definitely do it. And so we saw Zero having, as I said, a great game there coming out.
First down, Darien.
Jim, can't thank you enough for hopping in on this broadcast. I know you and I were back and forth during the week to see if you'd be able to make it, and this has been a great afternoon alongside you. Andrew Lucas right up the middle. He is stuffed. Stopped at the line of scrimmage, so no gain on the play for the Darien offense, as they will probably just try to run this ball and run the time off the clock.
Yeah, we got 5:08 left. I mean, exactly. And, you know, the thing is, the defensive coordinator for Warde knows that, right? So he's going to stuff the box here.
Andrew Lucas checks out. Mitch Pryor back in. And here's Joyce, and he is just met by Tyler Llewellyn and drops him in the backfield.
And
Big play.
And this is exactly what we were talking about earlier, Andrew. I just don't see, with 5 minutes left, you got the game sealed. Actually, even, you know, get your second string quarterback in there, get him some reps in a real game time. I'm surprised to see Pryor in there. I'm surprised to see Joyce in there also.
Well, we hadn't seen Pryor for much of the second half.
Oh, this is his first time he's been in the second half.
Yep. It's been Andrew Lucas in the second half. So Joyce out of the shotgun, rolls right, looking downfield, throws over the middle, and the pass is complete to Patrick Burke, number 19. So a big pickup for Burke and the Darien offense. Under 4 minutes left to go. 17-0 Darien in control of this one against Fairfield Warde.
And those stretch plays we saw there with Jack Joyce using his legs again to stretch the ball, stretch the field by rolling right, has been really helping his receiving core get open. Buying a little bit extra time. Pryor picked up a nice block there at the line of scrimmage. And Pryor's now down so we're empty again.
Here's Joyce out of the shotgun, looking downfield. He's going to keep it, tuck and run. Gets outside, far sideline, and he is smacked out of bounds by Jeff Saganos, who has played a really good game for Fairfield Warde, as you alluded to earlier in our broadcast.
Late flag.
I wonder if that's going to be a late hit out of bounds. He was right on the sideline there. It looked like he stepped out and got hit.
And for those FCIAC football fans who are watching us this afternoon, Ridgefield leads Wilton 17-3 today, under a minute left in the game. So it looks like the Tigers will beat the Warriors. It
looks like they picked up the flag, and turned over in downs.
Ward takes over on
And so Ward will take over on downs with 3:13 left in the game, down 17-0.
So you're down 17-0. You got 3:13 left. You're sitting on your own 18. What do you call? Not a lot of plays in the playbook for this one.
Nope, not a lot of plays in the playbook is right.
First down, 10 Ward.
The Darien cheerleaders you just saw doing a great job as always. Kath Alter leading the charge down there. And the Ward offense goes to work, and Llewellyn keeps it on the ground, and he doesn't get much.
I'm a little surprised on that play call. I mean, you got 3:13. You can get 2 scores potentially in 3 minutes here, but not when you're going to run it on the ground.
So Jim, while we have a moment here, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, what do you think of your Trojans tonight against the Fighting Irish?
Well, a couple things. Number one, we're away. That's never like playing in South Bend. The Trojans are beaten up. A lot of people are focusing on their O-line. They've had 3 starters injured, but actually it's the defensive line that I'm concerned about tonight. Notre Dame comes in this game, number 5 running offense in the country, and the SC Trojans are missing 5 up-front linemen. They burned 2 redshirt freshmen that burned them. So we're going to have to see what happens tonight. I expect to be a high-scoring game.
Sermonero back to pass. He just had a big pickup for first down to Will Stearns over the middle. That pass was incomplete. My Nittany Lions are at home against Michigan and Andrew Stuber, the Darien grad who had such a big impact on this football program the last couple of seasons, a back-to-back state champ, and he's been getting some playing time for the Wolverines.
I remember when Andrew Stuber, the first time I met him, I was handing out equipment at the DGFL day, and he comes up, and he looked like he was about that point, about 6'2", about 230. And I said, are you picking up for your younger brother? And he goes, no, I play 8th grade football. And I said, oh, my God.
That was nearly picked off by Connor Fay, number 44, at about the 35-yard line, incomplete pass. 2:09 left in the game. Again, we apologize. We did not have our clock on this live stream, but we've been trying to update you on the time as best we can. 2:09 left in the game. Darien up 17-0 on Fairfield Warde. Jim Coley, Damian Andrew. Sermonero escapes, throws over the middle, and the pass is complete at around the 50-yard line. A great effort by Kasim Danazumi.
Yeah, that was a great catch and a great run. That would give credit all to Matt Sermonero. That was him flushed out to his left and threw a nice strike across the field.
Beautiful pass, throwing against his body, Sermonero. To Danazumi. Sermonero downfield again, incomplete.
Some miscommunication there between the receiver and the quarterback.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10, the ball on the 49-yard line of Darien.
And you know Darien, there's a lot of pride on that big 4 in that defense. They don't want to give up a touchdown. They want to have the shutout. They want to notch that shutout here. They want to go out.
2nd down, 10, ball spotted on the 49-yard line.
We got a blitz.
Sermonero going up top, far sideline, and that is overthrown.
Yeah, Peter Gutasso, number 8, again on the corner blitz, really disrupting the quarterback there.
Gattuso's had a nice afternoon for the Blue Wave. Number 8, the senior.
We got the band standing up. I think we're going to get a little more entertainment before the game's over.
I know you have enjoyed that, Jim Coley, throughout this broadcast.
Right between the two
tubas are right in your sight lines. Here's Sermonero. He escapes a defender and gets outside. A nice athletic move by Mats Sermonero. He has played well this afternoon.
He's played his heart out.
Has played his heart out against a tough Darien defense. Very athletic player. Sermonero out of the shotgun over the middle, and it's intercepted by Connor Fay, and he has all kinds of running room. He's going to be tracked down from behind by Tyler Llewellyn, but he takes it inside the 10-yard line. You have been talking, singing his praises all afternoon. Connor Fay, big interception right there, and it was almost a pick six.
And Tyler showing good speed there to run Connor Fay down from behind.
Tyler Llewellyn with a terrific play, touchdown-saving tackle by Llewellyn, the senior. And what does the Darien offense
do got Peter
here?
Graham. We got Peter Graham subbed in. So the sophomore in for the Blue Wave. Like dad, like older brother.
Of course, his dad played at Notre Dame. His brother won a state championship here at Darien at quarterback, and he gives it to Andrew Lucas, and Lucas is tackled by 32, Matt Cota. We've mentioned Cota's name a couple of times this afternoon. The senior linebacker, 5'8", 185 pounds. So number 17, Peter Graham, the backup quarterback in the game now. With 45 seconds left, 17-0 Darien in front. And this looks like a victory formation for the Blue Wave.
And that might be it. And that is it.
So the time will tick off the clock. Under 30 seconds left in this one. 17-0 Darien. And that is going to do it from Stadium Field as the Blue Wave improve to 6-0. They remain undefeated. They'll remain the #1 ranked team in the state, and their winning streak goes to 31, Jim Coley.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Andrew.
Huge win for Darien this afternoon. Let's just recap the scoring. All coming in, all points being put up, Jim Coley, in the second quarter. Jack Joyce finding Brian Minikis for an 8-yard touchdown. Then Joyce to Patrick Burke for another touchdown. And a 17-yard field goal from Austin Hagender as Darien beats Fairfield Warde 17-0. A big win for the Blue Wave as they run their record to 6-0.
And if you're Warde, you take away that you held them in the first quarter and you held them in the second half. A lot to build on here for their game next week against Staples.
Trying to get Coach Rob Traffone's attention. Would like to get him up in the booth for a couple of comments. Don't know if we can do this, but Jim, let me, while we have some time, your impressions of this Blue Wave team.
Well, first it starts up front. A great offensive line. It gives your quarterback plenty of time. It gives your coaching staff the opportunity to build plays that you know will take some time to develop. Then you got receivers, all of them catching, all of them have good hands. And then you got two great running backs with Pryor and with so basically this offense is built defense is rock solid. As you talked earlier, Andrew, 4 defensive linemen up front. We saw a lot of it. We saw Vanchek, we saw Neary disrupting plays, a couple picks, good linebacking crew. Connor Fay having a heck of a game, getting that last interception, and then the DBs. So there's no weakness, not even in the kicking game. We got a kicker also. So top to bottom, this team is built, and there's a lot of versatility in these teams.
Coach Trafone talking to his team. Don't know if we can get him up to our broadcast location for a couple of comments. We're going to try, but as I mentioned, Darien is at Trumbull next week, McDougal Stadium. Of course, Jerry McDougal, the legendary coach up there at Trumbull, did a terrific job with that program, the late Jerry McDougal. And Fairfield Warde, Jim Coley, certainly can take some positives away from this game, no doubt about it. They were in this game after the first quarter, no score. The Darien offense erupted in the second quarter, and then a scoreless second half.
Surprising.
Hard to believe.
Yeah, now clearly the coaches made adjustments at halftime on both sides of the ball, but I think, as I said earlier, I think the staff can walk away, the Ward staff and the players can walk away and have something to build on. I think they can feel pretty good about going in and seeing Staples next week.
Yeah, Coach Trafone, we'll try to get him on our next broadcast, but he's still talking to his players, as is head coach Duncan Della Volpe. So Fairfield Warde falls to 3-3 in conference in the FCIAC.
And traditionally, you can see, traditionally the DGFL day, the kids would actually be out there in the huddle. I'm a little surprised not to see them this particular year.
I don't know, maybe we can still get Coach Trafone up here for, a couple of comments.
Looks like some type of dedication or something going on.
Talking over with his assistant coaches. Well, we'll talk to him the next time. But 17-0, Darien beats Fairfield Warde. Great job by our crew. Ben Olson on field camera, Connor Darby on our midfield main camera, and of course Andy Demopoulos directing the shots for us. Jim Coley, it has been an absolute pleasure to work with you, my friend.
Thank you,
and
Andrew.
I wish you all the best with your Blue Wave, with your USC Trojans later tonight. Well, for Jim Coley, Damian Andrew, this has been a production of the Darien Athletic Foundation.